Welcome to Life Recovery Today, brought to you by New Life. If you're feeling stuck in addiction, grief, anxiety, or broken relationships, you're not alone. Over the next half hour, you'll discover practical tools and biblical truth from the 12 steps of life recovery, designed to help you heal, grow, and thrive. Because recovery isn't just about what you're giving up, it's about who you're becoming. Whether you're new to recovery or looking to go deeper, we have resources to guide you. Bibles, workbooks, devotionals, and real stories of transformation. You can start your journey today on your own, in a group, or through your church. Visit newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to take the next step. This is your time for healing, hope, and freedom. This is Life Recovery Today.
Hi there, Steve Arterburn here. Welcome to Life Recovery Today. And I am hoping, I really believe today we've got some good material for you that's going to help you in the recovery process. I do want to mention, I told you about Every Believer's Thought Life, the new book. I think this could really help you because it is the thought life that gets us off in trouble, starts the confusion and compromise and all of that. But I brought this in because I just got it. It's the audio version. It's on CD if you want it that way. But oh my goodness, I've had such great response to this book, Every Believer's Thought Life. Now on today's program, I want to talk to you about several things. One is the value of living in truth. And the segments today come from this book, Healing is a Choice. And I would have to tell you, I think this is the most valuable book that I've ever done. Probably sold more with greater response, that it helped at a deeper level. We live a life of delusion sometimes, and we need other people that are walking alongside us to tell us the truth. We need truth tellers. And how many people have died or overdosed or whatever because they didn't have a truth teller to help them? And walking in recovery, we're following this process that requires us to do a fearless and searching inventory. And so when we do that and we discover we've made a mistake or two, and then we move to make it right, admit that we're wrong immediately, boy, that is staying current, and that is living in the truth. In John 8:31-32, it talks about truth, and it talks about being set free by truth. A lot of people just say the truth will set you free, which is right there, but it's more out of context when you say that. Because what it really says is that if you follow my teaching, you're really my disciple, and then you'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So you don't just memorize a scripture and get set free, you actually have to live that truth as a disciple of Jesus for the truth to set you free. But also, it's not just the truth of Scripture. It needs to be living in the truth and reality of our lives, and you can never ever do that unless you've got people that love you, care about you, and you're open to what they have to say. And many times a family member, for whatever reason, is not able to communicate with you without getting defensive. And that's why we need to be in a life recovery group. And of course, if you need to be in a life recovery group, or you want to be and you're not, you just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Terry Ward will help you either start a group or find one. But right now, I want you to watch this piece that I did from Healing is a Choice, and look at and perhaps consider how you might discover some areas, look at some areas, uncover some areas where you really need the truth. One of the worst things that can hamper us, rationalization. Truth sets us free from rationalization. Just yesterday, my wife was reading a note from a person who said they showed up at Northview Church 5.5 years ago because they heard that I was doing a series on Healing is a Choice. She went, and from there, she ended up in a recovery group. And from there, she ended up recovering. And it all started with Healing is a Choice. And that's what we're doing here. And today, we're talking about another choice, and it's the choice to investigate the truth about your life. Did you know that the higher up you get, the more famous you are, or maybe the higher in some organization you get, the less likely you are to have anybody around you tell the truth to you about yourself. Janet Jackson tried to get to her brother, Michael, to say, Michael, you are going to die if you don't do something about this drug thing you're doing just to sleep. You have to make some changes. The people around him protected him, quote unquote, from her. She never got to him, and he died. Elvis Presley, great guy, huh? I mean, he was amazing, but he was addicted to painkillers. And the painkillers he was addicted to had codeine in them. Codeine is extremely constipating. And Elvis Presley, because the people around him protected him from the truth about himself. Nobody could get to Elvis, and anybody saying anything negative to Elvis, they were out of the inner circle. Elvis Presley died of a heart attack with his pants down around his ankle because he was so constipated, struggling, because he was addicted to pain medication that had codeine. And nobody to tell him, if you don't get off this stuff, you're going to die. How about that? Do you have people that tell you the truth about yourself? You need at least one person. Back in June 12th, 1987, Ronald Reagan stood at the Brandenburg Gate and he said this, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. And guess what happened? Eventually, they tore down that wall. So Gorbachev had one person that spoke truth to him. He heard it. And I was fortunate enough, I've got a picture with me and him in the office because I got to have dinner with him and I was able to hear him talk about what it's like to know that you're called to destroy the very political system that brought you to power. Pretty fascinating. So if we don't have anybody to tell us the truth, then we're not going to live in truth. Second thing is, if you're not willing to look back and learn some stuff from the truth, then we're never going to learn, ever. So we need to take a little look back. Now some people say, well, if you look over at Philippians 3:12, it says to press on. Well, I sure hope that you don't live your whole life based on that one little verse. Just because we need to press on doesn't mean that we shouldn't do what it says to do in Lamentations 3:40. Let us test and examine our ways. Most people in recovery do a fearless and searching inventory of the things that they've messed up and done and the strengths that they have, but the faults, the defects that they have. And if we're never willing to do this, we miss out on some things that we need to know about ourselves. 2 Corinthians 13:5 says, examine yourself. And why people think that this lie, that looking back does no good, well, it's ridiculous because, of course, it does a lot of good to look back and see where I've come. I have a very wise counselor. We were talking just today about regrets. He knew that I had written a book called Regret-Free Living. Here's what he said about regrets. Regrets can either be symbolic or they can be a signal. And here's what he meant. If I look back on the things that I've done that I regret, they could be signals saying, don't do that anymore. Do something different and then you won't have regrets piling up. So they're signals to make a change. But sometimes, rather than being signals, they become symbolic or symbols to ourselves of who we are. We define ourselves by the regrets that we have, thinking, I'm a loser, I'm no good, look how stupid. And we miss the the life that God has intended for us, because rather than being given a signal from a regret to make some changes, we decide that, well, it's going to be a symbol of our life going forward, all of them together. So don't do that. So I just want to say one of the great, most wonderful choices that we could ever make is to make that choice to go back and do a little work, find some patterns, find some paths where we got off the path, some unmet needs that didn't get met that are leading to things today. Let's look at our heritage. How were we raised? Sometimes it's painful to look at mom and dad as anything but perfect. Let me tell you one reason that you should look back. I was talking to one of my sons, and I said, you know, it is every young man's job to get over his mother. What does that mean? Everything's mom's fault? No. If you had a great mother, you'd want to look back at that. Mom was great. And you'd want to get over that. What do I mean? You'd want to say, that's what moms do for guys like me, great moms. But if you don't get over that and you're expecting to be treated like that for the rest of your life, when you get married, you're gonna hate the person you marry because they're never going to be able to live up to what mommy did for you as a great mom. Same goes for if you have a really crummy mother. You're going to get married and lay all of that stuff that you couldn't say to mommy, you're going to lay that onto your wife, and it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be miserable. But when we search for the truth and we find that truth, that we've got some wounds and hurts, and we deal with that and process that with the counselor, now I don't have to be healed or fixed or propped up by the person I marry. I just marry them because I love them and we make a good partnership. There's no hidden agenda. So I don't know what you've done with your life. I don't know if you've ever gotten counseling. I get it every week, almost every week. But that's a great place to find the truth about yourself. What a sad thing to go through life and never ever fully know who you are or how you got that way. But when we make that inventory, or when we ask people to be truthful with us, when we open the door without punishment, revenge, or anything like that, but we openly accept the truth from other people, we are on our way to developing wisdom and insight and discernment on what to do next as we're in the healing process.
Are you going through your struggles alone? Do you want someone to talk to help you through your pain? Do you feel like a failure when you relapse again, telling yourself, next time will be different? Don't walk this path alone anymore. Join a life recovery group today and be a person that your friends and family can be proud of. God created us to be in community, and we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country, and if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. Life Recovery brings recovery to you, right where you are. You'll take a journey with others to find healing and freedom. Whether you're looking to join a group or start one, New Life Ministries is here for you. Visit newlife.com/groups or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Life recovery isn't just about making the courageous choice to give up an addiction or dependency. It's a journey towards health, wholeness, and becoming your very best you. If you need resources to help you in your journey, we can help. There are many life recovery resources that you can do on your own, with a group, or with your church. We have Bibles, workbooks, and devotionals that you can use to work your recovery right where you are. That's the beauty of life recovery. To learn more or to get the Life Recovery Bible or any other life recovery resource, visit liferecoverytoday.net or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Welcome back. I just think it's such a gift that there is this thing called recovery available to anybody. There are steps that anybody can follow. You know, you can be depressed and follow the steps, and there is just a really, really good chance that you're going to uncover something or find the source of the depression. Or maybe you're going to resolve something with another person, has nothing to do with the depression, but it resolves it over here and it relieves the depression. Maybe it was just a complicating factor in you staying in depression. Anybody can make a choice to do some work, and using the steps to look at some patterns in our lives, to maybe look at our heritage. You know, what is it in our past? There's a good chance if I have a great-grandfather I heard about that died drunk, and a grandfather that ended up overdosing, and a father that is an alcoholic, there's a really good chance that I have inherited some stuff. And don't listen to anybody if they tell you it's not a genetic predisposition. It absolutely is. I wrote a whole book on genetic predisposition. So we want to open the door to true truth in our lives, and then we begin to live a whole life based on truth. Now, in this segment, I'm going to talk about the choice to help your life. And that choice to help your life is to reach out and get whatever resource you need for you. And many folks are stuck and they're not able to make this choice to reach out. Pride, shame, all sorts of things. But I think you're going to discover that there is so much hope when we finally take the step and reach for help. We're in this series on healing is a choice. There are 10 decisions that could transform your life. Now, you really have a choice. You can know you need some help and not get it, or you can know you need some help and get it. The other thing is maybe you don't know you need help. And if you don't know you need help, well, I don't know what to say about that. But I got to tell you, it's really important that you get the help that you need. And that's what our choice is today. I was getting help for myself today. And maybe you have never gotten help for yourself. But this choice is the choice to help your life. Last time we talked about healing your life by grieving, and there's no better way to do the grief work than with somebody else, a counselor. But I want to talk to you about all the different ways that you could choose to help your life. And of course, you know, the big lie is this: I can figure this out myself. Or I just need to try harder and this is all going to fall in place. Let me tell you something. The brain that got you in trouble is not going to be the brain that figures out how to get you in trouble, because that brain is in trouble. Doesn't that make sense? Okay, maybe it doesn't, but it does to me. And so what I want to see you do is to quit trying to figure it out, humble yourself, and realize that there are people in this world who went to graduate school, got a degree, and their whole goal in life was to help people like you break through the denial and get the help that you need. You know, most people, they can never get help if they don't ever do this one thing, and that is to see the reality of their situation. If you never see it, if you're always, maybe you're so insecure you have to deflect everything that happens off to somebody else, or you blame everybody for something else. Just on radio today, 35-year-old guy in prison for 5 years because he was stealing and his parents were blamed, and he would write his mother whenever and blame her and shame her. And I said to the mother, quit opening those letters. I mean, why would you? Why would you do that? Why would you sign up to be hurt again? Well, probably because you feel guilt and shame and remorse over it. But everybody has the ability to make their own choices. So let's just say that you decided, I've been trying to help myself and I'm not really getting better. In fact, I might be getting worse. So what do you do if you reach a point where you say, I need some help? and it needs to come from beyond me. Okay, here's the thing. In almost every place in the world, no, I'm going to say in every place in the world, there is a meeting that you could go to that could support you in getting the help that you need. Now, the reason I say every place now, that's actually probably not true, but I'm talking about virtual meetings. There are meetings online, on Zoom meetings, all over the place. And so if you've got internet access, you can attend a meeting that might help you. When the virus and all that is out of the way, then meetings can be face-to-face. But meetings are taking place every day where people like you are getting the help that they need. So a support group. There are also, a self-help, working the steps kind of group, like a life recovery group. There are also support groups. For instance, there's special groups. Let's say you've lost a child. Your child died. Boy, having those other parents that you meet with, something where nobody else understands how bad it is except you guys. And to have that camaraderie can really be quite amazing. And when we come to accept that we've got a problem, we can start to think, well, is it a support group? Is it a 12-step group? Is it a counselor that I need? That's what I like to see people do. I go see a counselor every single week if possible. And it really does help me. I can say things to that therapist that I can't say to a friend or I can't say to my wife that really help me to stay clean and to not build up resentment, bitterness, or whatever it is that would build up. So acceptance is important. And then I can decide counselor, support group, 12-step group, or maybe it's a coach. Maybe that's all I need. There are a lot of people that have degrees that because of laws, they're not doing therapy, they're doing coaching. And what you want is somebody speaking truth into your life. Now, one of the toughest things for people to accept is that maybe it's not any of those things, but maybe I need to see a psychiatrist because I need medication. Well, a lot of folks say medication is evil. Well, I don't think so, because I know some really, really dedicated, committed Christian psychiatrists that prescribe medication for people if it's needed. The person that I think was most like Jesus in this world was a doctor in India, Thomas Guanamutu, who went back to grad school, got his degree in psychiatry so he could prescribe medication to people that could be helped in no other ways. Maybe that's the help that you need. I often wonder, when Jesus healed a blind man, he didn't just say, "You're healed." He spit on the ground and he made some mud and put the stuff on the blind man's eyes and said, "Go wash it in the river." Well, I wonder if that might have been a little bit of a message to us that sometimes you need an external substance in the healing process. Jesus used mud and a river. Maybe we need medication, and maybe we need to go see a medication giver. And that's what a psychiatrist can do. Now I'm going to say something really weird. Sometimes people actually need some kind of electric shock therapy, or it's actually ECT, it's called electric convulsive therapy. What I'm saying is, when we need help and we're willing to do whatever it takes, sometimes nothing works but the most radical, severe treatment. And I have seen, there's a video, a TED Talk by a physician who was a surgeon, sunk down in this deep, deep depression. Nothing helped him, and he started to get the electric shock here. They put you out and you convulse, and he had about 36 of those kind of treatments, and none of them worked except the last one. He was at the end of all that they were going to give him, and it worked. It did something. And I had a physician I worked with in Texas that also had done so well with them. It's very rare anybody would need that. What am I saying here? Be willing to do whatever it takes to get the help that you need. and you become willing when you accept the reality of your problem and accept the weakness that you have or the limitation that you have. You might even be able to move into what would be called gratitude. Gratitude that there are resources, that I can avail myself to these resources, that I can literally heal my life by working with somebody else or another group of people and not thinking that I need to have all the answers. Kind of arrogant to think that with all these people that are trained to help folks, you don't need any help. I have seen lives dramatically changed because somebody went from saying, therapist, who needs that, to therapist, I need that. So I hope and pray you'll reach out. You can call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and we could find the resource you need to help your life. Welcome back. Well, I love this Healing is a Choice resource, and I hope and pray that something you heard today would encourage you, maybe encourage you to do something, make a choice, go deeper, and then you experience a new level in your recovery. Maybe the thing to do is just to be willing to look at some area that might need some help, and then do for yourself what you would do for a child or someone you care about. You get the help that's needed. Do it for yourself, not just somebody else. And when we make that one small step, oh my goodness, the things that follow are pretty astounding. And we can help you take that step if you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I want to tell you about a resource. We've got these devotionals that they're not in the life recovery line, but they have helped so many people save lives their own. One is 100 Days of Prayer, and all of these, they have devotional material, scripture, great quotes, direction, and scripture for deeper study. But 100 Days of Character, 100 Days of Peace, and then 100 Days of Healing. Just imagine starting every day that way. Here's 100 Days of Freedom from depression, and this is 100 Days of Healing from fear and anxiety, and then this is from shame, and this one, freedom from anger. When people join our club New Life at New Life, we give them all 8 of these as our way of saying thank you, but you can order one or more at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. They are resources that hopefully will help you have a quality recovery. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.
Thanks for joining us for Life Recovery Today, where we believe your past doesn't have to define your future. If you're ready to take the next step, we're here to help with Bibles, workbooks, devotionals, and more. Visit newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Your journey to healing and freedom can start right now. Until next time, stay hopeful, stay courageous, and keep moving forward.